Are you applying for a ton of jobs and getting automatically rejected? In this video, we'll explore why. Welcome back to the channel. I'm John and I'm your guide through the job hunting process. So I didn't expect to make this video today, but I've been working with a couple of clients who are looking at doing a career transition. And when they came to me with their resumes and an idea of the jobs they were looking for, one of the comments that they both had was that they've applied for dozens of jobs and they get immediately rejected. They're receiving those automatic responses saying that, thanks for your application, we're going to continue the job search or something along those lines. And it was clear and it was obvious that the resume hadn't even gotten into the hands of a recruiter, of a human reader. And so, reviewing their resumes, and this is something I see quite frequently. And if you've been applying for a lot of jobs and getting similar automatic rejections, I hope that this video kind of gives a little bit of insight into what's happening on the back end. So the first thing that happens generally with a resume is that you do go through the automatic screening process, and your resume will be scanned against the requirements of the job posting. So when a recruiter is creating the back end algorithm, for lack of a better term, they're putting in the job requirements and they're putting in the key asks of the job. So then that's what you see on the front end when you see the job posting. So when you click apply, you attach your resume, it gets sent off. And what the ATS, the applicant tracking system, does is it scans your resume looking for the key things that the recruiter has identified as being must-haves. Should you meet the requirement or the required number, and generally it's around 75-80% of the key requirements, then your resume will be processed to the next stage, which generally is a person reading it. So if you haven't incorporated the key terminology, and this is where you're playing a bit of a word game. If you haven't included the key terminology or the key phrases that you found in the job posting, chances are your resume will not make it through to the next stage. So in the case of these two clients, one was a teacher looking to transfer to an administrative role. The other was in organizational management and wants to transition into a human resources role. In both cases, they were continuously getting rejected. So let's say by chance that they did get through. That's when a human reader is going to look at it. And now what a human reader do, what the recruiter does, is they'll scan through the resume very, very quickly. And they know already what they're looking for. If, again, in terms of a human resource resume, they're looking for expressions such as employee engagement, talent acquisition, HRIS, screening, interviewing, payroll administration. They're looking for those broad terms. If it's for, let's say, a junior HR role, they're looking for those broad terms. If those broad terms aren't jumping out at them, then chances are the resume will get rejected. If they do see those terms, then the resume will be processed for a second reading and for further consideration. So again, what happens, you'll go through that initial screening, your resume will be screened in or it will be screened out. So this is where you want to make sure that you're reflecting what are the key requirements of the job posting, and you can identify those. If it's showing that, we're looking for A, B, C, and D, A, B, C, and D must be in your resume. But what do you do, though, if you are transitioning from a career in one area to a career in another area? So in the case of the teacher looking to get into administrative management, focus on areas that somebody recruiting for an admin role would be looking for. They want to see file management. They want to see responding to incoming calls. They want to see preparing correspondence. So there's a ton of similar skill sets one would do as a teacher. that would port over very nicely into an administrative management role. Her resume really focused more on classroom management, grading, dealing with students, preparing lesson plans. Now, a lot of very transferable elements there, but the focus really was on teaching as opposed to administrative management. I didn't suggest that we redo her resume, really just ignoring her teaching, but to talk about teaching, but yet really lean heavily into skill sets that one would expect to find in an administrative management professional. Now, in the case of the organizational management professional looking to transition to an HR role, there was a lot in the background, in her background, where she was doing training. So in HR speak, learning and development. She was onboarding employees to new systems. So again, employee training, employee engagement. So it was a question of tweaking the existing content, but to talk in the language of the job posting or the language of the area, the field to which she was applying. So if you feel that you are getting very quickly rejected, look at your resume and ask yourself, are the key skills in these jobs explicitly detailed in my resume? So if the resume says administrative management, is administrative management in my resume? If it's talking about client engagement, is client engagement explicitly identified in my resume? Create a value-added skills section at the top of your resume where you can actually state those skills that the job posting is talking to. Be careful that you're only listing those that you can really defend, that you do have. So when you are interviewed and they ask you to explain what is your background in client engagement, you can speak to it clearly. So if you are getting rejected, most likely it's because, firstly, your resume is not getting through the ATS because it's missing the key terms that the system's looking for. That's when you get the automatic rejection. And if you're being rejected later on, it's because the reader isn't feeling a resonance between your resume and the position they are looking for. I apologize if you can see bees flying around. This is it's October the 21st today, and the weather, Eastern Ontario in Canada, and the weather has just been absolutely phenomenal. So all the creatures, they don't know that they should be hibernating yet. But excuse me. I hope you got some value from this. I do have a program, Win the Job Hunt, which goes into this in a lot greater detail, applying for jobs, writing resumes, getting through ATS systems. So I'll post the link below. If you have any comments, any suggestions of questions you'd like me to answer or things you'd like me to discuss, again, drop me a comment below and I'll cover it in an upcoming video. I would greatly appreciate you liking this video if you did get some value from it, and liking it and hitting the bell notification to receive updates of when I produce new content. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.